Gather round and listen up, for I only tell a fable once. This be the tale of pirates so legendary that those who sail the 12 seas still revere their names. A halfling with a covenant of charm and trickery, a one-armed dwarf with an eye for revenge, and a warrior princess with beastly strength. I swear to tell no fetch tale as your loyal innkeeper of the evening, and together we'll sail through rough waters, meet foes worthy of myth, and cause more mischief than chaos herself. Welcome, me hearties, to their Gilded Voyage. Welcome back to the Gilded Voyage. As we last left our beloved pirate captains, they have had quite the journey since embarking from Hangman's Cove. Upon reaching the Thayan trade route, amidst a nasty summer storm, they clashed with the Royal Glaive and its convoy of merchant sloops, plundering from the ships all that they were worth. After sending the King's Navy to Captain Emerald's fathoms, our crew met the legendary pirate himself on Mou Kore, the eve of the harvest moon. When the veil between the realm of death, the Shadowfell, crept close, you aided this wraith in his revenge against his murderer, Zulker Morzemek, and more specifically, his kin. Now, back on the Guppy, 3 days have passed, getting closer to the X on the map, Mou Kore. And as you make this final 3-day travel, we're going to tie up some loose ends real quick. As you guys get back from your adventure with Captain Emerald, everybody gets a long rest. So you can heal up, you can take your long rest, get some spells back, get some health back. Going through some inventory of magic items. Kildek, you were gifted for the help that you gave to Captain Emerald and for having his side in his argument against Tawny. He gifted you his ghastly saber, Scourge. It is in your inventory. It requires attunement, which would take an hour, which can be done any time throughout those 3 days. Would you like to attune to Scourge?
Sure. What's the downside to attuning?
So the downside to attuning is you can only have 3 items attuned at once. Okay. And if there is a cursed item that requires attunement, usually that curse doesn't kick in until you attune to it.
Gotcha.
So that will take up your second slot. When you attune to Scourge, it is a +1/+1 saber. When you feel it in your hands, it feels like it's going to be harder to land hits. It's not quite as a finesse weapon as you're used to. However, it is built to do some damage. The damage coming off it is going to be higher than a rapier. It's much more of a slashing weapon. In addition, you can spend a bonus action to either summon the sword or make it disappear, as it is still, it's like ghastly, like almost translucent green. So you can spend a bonus action and the sword disappears. It's gone into the etherealness, and then you can simply, with a bonus action, pull it back into existence.
Cool.
Okay. Is it still a finesse weapon just for my sneak attack? Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
It also counts as a magical weapon. So for Tawny's ring, Tawny, the ring that you took out of the ring box was the one with the crown on it. Mm-hmm. Did you want to attune to it, or I know you said you wanted to think about it and have some time. Does Tawny still want to attune to it, or do you want to leave it as something that you have on your person that you're not attuned to?
As we're traveling, she wants to just spend some time just looking at it, and can I make a history check about it to see if I can remember?
I would say if you want to know where the ring came from, history is your guy. If you want to know what abilities the ring has, then Arcana is going to be 20. What's that? What is that? The history or is that the Arcana?
Arcana.
Okay. So you look at this ring, you examine it. It's a beautiful make from
somewhere in the far north of the Sword Coast, probably either Neverwinter or higher. You have learned through your studies that in those mountain ranges there are lots of dwarves that live in those mountains, building in their like mithril kingdoms, and this is clearly a dwarven-made ring. You examine it, you study its magic, and you are able to, bless you, you are able to determine that this is a ring of mind shielding. So a ring of mind shielding. While wearing this ring, requires attunement. Once you're attuned to this ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you are lying, know your alignment, or creature type. Creatures can telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it. You can use an action to cause this ring to become invisible until you use another action to make it visible, or until you remove the ring, or until you die. If you die while wearing the ring, your soul enters the ring, unless it already has a soul. You can remain You can remain in the ring, or depart for the afterlife. As long as your soul is in the ring, you can telepathically communicate with any creature wearing it. A wearer can prevent this telepathic communication. A wearer cannot prevent this telepathic communication.
That's a lot.
I love it.
I attuned to this ring.
Sweet. You attune to the ring. I was like, when you took the crown ring, I was like, I guess it makes sense that Tawny took the crown ring, but what more perfect a ring for Tawny than something that can prevent someone from using magic to figure out her creature type? I was like, man, I set myself up for failure on that one. Wow.
Yeah, she just went for it because it had the crown.
So, if you die, would you choose to inhabit the ring?
No.
Just mess with the next person? That's what I'd do. 100%.
Well, that means there's also a chance that someone's in the ring right now.
Oh, absolutely.
That is true. But Tawny I would not do that. Like, she's Drook. She's believes they're like godlike creatures. There's no way she would damn her soul to a ring.
I mean, you can always leave at any time.
Next thing to run through real quick are some of the letters that were taken that were not read. You do not have to read these letters. I'm simply reminding you that we have them in case over this 3 days if you wanted to go through them. There was Tawny, you have a letter from the Royal Glaive that you stole from the captain's quarters. Would you like to flip through that?
Yeah, I'll flip through it.
So you have a letter from the captain of the Royal Glaive, the one that Kildak killed on the deck. Pretty much he's just writing home to his wife about how crazy the journey is and how much he misses being on the coast. However, he does mention in detail, he says, I wish I could say that the journey was uneventful, yet alas, it has been everything but. We were intercepted by a Thayan ship, not a trader, but rather one of the Zulkur of Necromancy's personal fleet. They demanded to come aboard and take stock of our goods. I feared to worsen our relationship with the Red Wizards, yet I would not have it. Our treaty with Zulkur Harkis, that which allows us to trade, has no provisions for the Zulkur of Necromancy. Besides, I was concerned that they were pirates in disguise, seeking to steal my ship from under me. I hope I made the right decision. The crew is paranoid that the ship will follow us, and I fear we have not seen the last of them. Tawny, do you share any of this information with your other captains or crew?
No, she sees that and then just throws it away.
Okay. Next is, I think Tawny also has this letter. The letter from the ring box. If you would like to read that as well.
Yeah, I probably read that before I attuned to my ring.
Probably. That's a safe bet. Cool. So this letter is written to esteemed Zas Ethra, a name that you do not recognize. It says, "Our local diplomats have informed my court that you are presently bearing the responsibilities of Master of Abjuration and Continental Defense due to the absence of Zolkar Morsmek. The Council of Waterdeep has been generous in its efforts to build a strong relationship with Zolkar Harkis, and in turn would appreciate transparency on the status of Zolkar Morsmek. In addition, we will expect you to uphold the policies agreed upon by your predecessor regarding our ship's ability to dock and trade in your harbor. Secondly, the guilds of Baldur's Gate have aired complaints of being inconvenienced by the operations of Zolkar Tam's cabinet. Once again, transparency would be appreciated in alleviating tensions. Kindly inform Zolkar Tam that his continued interference with trade in the name of his experiments will not be received cordially. As a token of our as a token of our cooperation, please accept these rings of swimming, water walking, and mind shielding. In addition to our gifts, please give our deepest condolences to your apprentice, Zas Repelia, for the loss of her father. We hope Zolkar Morsmek is found swiftly. May the Zolkar Arcanis continue to reign in good health. Lady Saliel Geliem, advisor to the Court of Trade for His Majesty King Malachite, benevolent Lord of Waterdeep." As you read this, Tawny, I guess I'll ask again, are you sharing any of this information with the other two?
No.
I love the hesitation.
Repelia was the girl that we killed, right?
Yes, it is.
So I would like to jot down on a separate piece of paper, or like the back of my porn book, just like the highlights that are important of this, and then take the box that the rings came in, put 3 like rings that have no magical ability, just like because she has like lots of jewelry and stuff.
Oh yeah, you have jewelry. Wallywig bought a lot of jewelry that he had in the cabinet. Yeah, there's plenty.
So I'm gonna just take 3 random rings, put them in the box, close back up the letter, and have it prepared to still send.
Okay.
But
Excellent.
if I can like put like a return address kind of thing, like add in a little note like, by the way, address is changing, and like
oh, so you're gonna send it back to the coast.
I want her reply to come to me and not to the lady.
Excellent. Okay. Make like a either an intelligence check, like a sleight of hand check. This is straight up forgery.
Yes. 12.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I'm sending it, so.
You're sending, exactly. Excellent.
And actually, can I make the oh wait, maybe not. Never mind. I was gonna have the address for things to return to, because obviously I can't put just like the depressed guppy.
The boat.
The boat at like
that's a good question.
Hangman's
What
Cove.
is the return address?
See, I was gonna do Hangman's Cove, but I feel like I maybe shouldn't give out the secret pirate location.
Oh my god.
Jake's face just sweating bullets for Kildak. I like the idea of Kildak. He's sitting in his cabin, just sweating bullets, knowing that at any point Tawny could be doing something like this, and it's just always stressed out that anyone on his crew is gonna do something crazy.
I'm gonna give the anxious carp.
What? It's still a pirate ship.
It doesn't have to be a pirate ship.
Okay.
Okay, Left Hand Island is my final decision.
Perfect.
That's an abandoned island. None of these are good options.
You're gonna put down that any return to send it to like her secretary. Her secretary is currently doing work in the field on Left Hand Island. Send it to them. Excellent.
That's also not the name of that island. We called it that.
That's what I got. Draws like a picture.
It looks like this one.
Excellent. Are you going to share the cliff notes with the other two?
If it becomes relevant.
Okay. If that's the case, then as of right now, this is what Tawny is able to put together from these couple letters. Zolkar Harkis, someone that you have not met yet, is apparently the Zolkar in charge of like the laws that allow the Sword Coast to trade with Fae. That's his domain. He's dealing with the actual trade. Zolkar Morzamek is in charge of continental defense. You also know that as a master of abjuration, continental defense might go beyond like going to war with other countries, but also might be like protecting from other planes coming in. So devils, demons, angels, fae, things like that. A similar role to what Tawny has herself. You also know that Zolkar Morzamek allegedly is the one responsible for killing your aunt and sending you the message to meet you at Mou Kore. We also know in third that Zolkar Morzamek has been missing for some amount of time. Based on this letter, Zas Ethra is the person that has stepped up in his place to run his continental defense while he is gone. And her apprentice is his daughter, Zas Rapelia, who only you know is dead. I guess not only you, people in Vorpalgrad.
People probably figured that out at this point.
People know, but I mean, the rest of the... It's only been 3 days since it happened, and so you take it that most of these islands probably don't know yet. In addition to all that information, obviously everybody still has some downtime in the next 3 days. Kildek, you are successfully able to patch people up after your battle with the Royal Glaive, and you gain a proficiency in medicine. Tawny, you finish Treasured Half-Breeds, and you gain your proficiency in Persuasion. And Wikipedia, your spying continues to go on throughout the next couple days. You are one step closer and one downtime away from your bountiful luck feat. As the 3 days conclude, a shout awakens you the morning of your 8th day of travel from Hangman's Cove. Land ho! Everyone comes aboard deck, and as your anchor is weighed, you see the lush shores of thick green jungle ahead of you, the vegetation reaching its way into the sea with dense mangroves. Dead ahead of your ship is the mouth of a small river flowing inland and wide enough for maybe a couple canoes or a rowboat, but nothing bigger. The Anxious Carp anchors nearby, and you get a request from the crew, from Marcus, to come aboard the Guppy.
Yeah, come on board.
Marcus Leatherback climbs on board the deck of the Guppy, tips his hat to the three of you, and says, "Morning, captains! Quite the trip, hasn't it been? It's been
a little lengthy, huh?
It's been a busy 8 days for us. No need to thank us for our skillful raid of those merchants back at the tradeway. How did we make out from the other sloop?"
Decently. We got some seeds, some paper, some coal.
Okay, that's not too bad. We can sell it. We can sell that pretty well. Are you neglecting to tell him about the gold and the diamonds that you guys got?
Absolutely, because I don't remember it. It was 8 days ago.
Perfect. In that case, I won't even make you roll deception. Simply forgot is good enough for me. So you see, Marky kind of scratches his beard and he goes, okay, we can sell. If we stop at Red Rat Bay, even White Sands Port, we can sell that. I don't think we want to stop at Vorpalgrad to sell this stuff, but we could probably, if you're willing to stop at Vorpalgrad, we can sell it for like 3 times the markup. But we did make a pretty penny off of this in Red Rat Bay. But obviously we have work to do here first. Well, now I see that we're in shallow waters. I'm going to supervise the repairs on the carp. We took a little bit of a beating back on the tradeway. But if you're all going to shore, I'd be willing to shoulder the burden of captain only in your absence. While you go ashore, I'll make sure that all the repairs go smoothly aboard our ships. Just wanted to offer it as my humble service to we three.
Unfortunately, I think we already have a backup captain.
Who's your backup captain?
Bug-Eye Bill.
The admiral. He was an admiral, so I think he's qualified.
The admiral from up atop. He's currently in a hammock. He's set on the between the rigging and the main mast. Kind of just looks down at Marcus and just tips his hat real quick. It's shit-eating grin on his face, and kind of goes back to napping. And goes, "I was an admiral, in fact," and goes back to snoozing in the afternoon. Or is it still the morning? He's taking his morning easy. Marcus looks at the review and goes, he's not even the captain of the ship. I'm the captain of the Anxious Carp. Wouldn't that put me above an admiral?
You're first mate if you're lucky.
I'll take first mate. Thank you kindly. And he'll kind of storm off the guppy back towards the Anxious Carp.
Say Marble.
That's not my name. Hops off the deck. The admiral at this point slings out of his hammock and goes, "Captains, I'll make sure that we take good care of the guppy in your absence. Are you taking anyone else ashore with you?"
Nope.
We didn't want to take
Top
Bug-Eye?
secret business.
Okay.
No, I'm not taking Bug-Eye.
Well, we might need someone strong to lift something.
Then you can do
you
it.
see Bug-Eye comes
my one arm.
up from below deck. He's carrying a stack of 2x4s on one side and a mismatch of, I would say, a tool set. They're not really tools, but the things he's been using as tools. And he kind of comes up and he goes, I appreciate the sentiment, Captain Kildeck, but there's so many repairs to do on the ship. We gotta fix everything up. I am the carpenter after all. That's my sworn duty to the guppy.
Help too. So
you might have to head over to the carp.
That's a good idea.
He drops everything in his hand and goes, "More things to saw," and then begins to climb down to get onto the Marcus's boat before
you should probably fix ours
back.
First.
No.
Perfect. Bug-Eye is going to, in the time following, use some of your hit dice to repair the ship, and we'll talk about that off camera because it's clunky and rolling dice, but we'll roll dice to heal. The guppy will heal while you guys are out. You see Bug-Eye rowing this rowboat back towards the carp. Marcus, hands crossed, pouting in the back. The boat with Bug-Eye in it is like just floating on the water. The water is like just coming up to the side. It is like sunken down the water. And Bug-Eye, huge smile on his face, is just rowing all the way back to the anxious carp. He's so excited to chop up some doors. Perfect.
Our whole fleet's gonna be doorless.
Excellent.
Except for mine.
So, as you guys begin to make your way to the shore, you hop in a rowboat and begin to row your way in. Do you want to trek through the jungle, or do you want to take the river inland? The river would be easier, but it's also easier to be like spotted on the river. So if you're really trying to be stealthy through the jungle, it'll be a much slower trek to get through the underbrush, but you could be stealthier about it.
What's the topography like? Like, we just had that crazy storm. Like, is it super muddy? Is it a wetlands? How dense is it?
You see that it's like a wetlands for a good, like, I would say like half mile in. You can see like the mangroves sinking into like couple of, like, I'd say like a foot of standing water that go into more of, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it that most people would understand. If anyone's been to the Everglades is a good topography of it.
I vote we go by river.
Yeah.
At least for the
I'm
first
just gonna
half.
like
Wickipeedia's got her good
out,
shoes
like,
on.
Tan.
Get some tan in there. How pale is Tawny?
Not pale at all.
Not pale at all. Interesting.
Who's
is
rowing?
Wikipedia pale?
Wickipeedia's very pale.
Okay, that's who I was like. I know someone in my party.
She's a ginger.
That's a good point.
Very pale face. I mean, especially since making especially since making her deal with the Fae, she's gotten a lot paler. She's got freckles all over again. She's gonna burn up.
Who's rowing?
That's a good question.
Oh.
I have one arm. We go in a circle. We've discussed this.
You can.
At least someone has to be on the other oar.
I'll do the other side. You do the other.
Okay. And Tawny will sit and do nothing.
I'm too small to reach both handles. I can only do one.
This sounds like a perfect match. We got this rowboat nailed down. This is gonna go
I believe
great.
in you guys.
Thanks.
Excellent.
It means a lot.
You guys you sail through the jungle for a couple hours, late into the morning, getting into the afternoon. I need everyone to make a perception check.
16.
16.
24.
Ooh, okay. No. As you're going through, you begin to hear noises in the jungle beside you. Normal a fluttering of birds, some herbivore munching on leaves, some monkeys you see swinging through vines, but all three of you pick up on a noise and kind of nod to each other. There's something that's keeping pace with the boat along the river. That you guys clock. Maybe one, maybe two of this animal, but something's keeping pace. You can't see it through how thick the reeds on the side of the river are. But something is keeping pace with you. As you go farther, the first thing you notice is ahead of the river there is a bridge made of like wood and clearly carved by some intelligent creatures has been built spanning across the stream, and you see that the jungle alongside you clears out. And at this point, before anyone could get the surprise on you, you see creeping out of the jungle are about 10 of these creatures. Now, these creatures,
are they also herbivores? Can we also hear that they're herbivores?
You cannot
like the last
hear.
one?
Are you making fun of the fact that I said that an animal
Absolutely.
that's munching on plants, and so you think it's funny that you heard an herbivore? I guess they could have been omnivores. It was something eating plants. Oh boy. But you are so at first glance, these creatures look like dinosaurs. They're about 5 to 4, I'd say about 4 to 5 feet tall. They have they look like dinosaurs, more like raptors, but they stand more upright. They have shorter tails and longer arms that are more proportional to a human's. But their most distinguishing feature is that instead of like scaly reptilian skin, their bodies are covered in a rainbow of plumage. Yellow feathers, blue feathers, like bright reds, deep greens cover their body. Some of them are holding like very primitive bows. Some of them have very primitive spears, and they are cautiously creeping up to the riverbed, like looking at your boat. Is there anything you would like to do? None of them have attacked, none of them have been hostile, but you can see with such a high perception check on everyone. There are currently 5 of them, 3 on one side, 2 on the other, and they all have weapons in their hand.
I'm just gonna keep going up the river, not bother anybody.
Yeah. Can we pick up in our speed a little bit?
To the best of our coordinative abilities, sure.
Yeah, let's try.
I'm gonna turn and like lean over the boat a little bit and be like, "Hi guys."
You wave. You see one of them like puts his spear down and goes, and the other one like smacks him over the head. You blow a kiss, and then both of them kind of like blush and like creep back into the brush a little bit. You at this point see running onto the bridge another one of these creatures, in particular more yellow than the other ones. Lots of yellow feathers, like bright, like yellows, reds, oranges. Steps onto the bridge. This one is wearing like wood and bone, like bracelets, arm guards, shin guards, and like a chest piece, and has a necklace made of both like smooth rocks and like sea glass. Steps up onto the bridge, a little bit taller than the other ones, and begins to like they're also holding a like staff that has a bunch of like maracas and noisemakers connected to it. And they get onto the bridge, they look around and go, start shaking this, and goes, and like starts making noises, and then takes one hand, covers one of the eyes, and goes, and all the ones go, and they all start covering one eye, and they all begin to creep to the river.
I'm gonna cover my one good eye and also go ooh.
I like your attempt at the noise.
Yeah, what is everyone doing as they start to like they're all making this noise. They all cover an eye and they go, Mou Kore and Tawny, what are you guys doing?
I want to try to tell if I can see if this is like a battle cry, a mating cry, a friend, you know.
I didn't think about it being a mating call.
Why,
Sure,
kiss?
Yeah, Tawny, make an insight check for me. Mou Kore, what are you doing?
I don't want to immediately act yet because I'm very nervous about the situation. For some reason, being in this boat and them creeping on me is making me feel very claustrophobic in this moment. And so I'm preparing to cast bonfire on the edge, but I don't want to cast it yet. I am going to hold it and wait a minute, but like my fingers are itching to just throw some fire over there. But I'm feeling very claustrophobic, and so I'm just kind of going to wait and see what Tawny's doing. I'm also still rowing. And it's just a lot going on.
Cool. So you are rowing. Kildak has his
I
hand over
stopped
his eye.
rowing. I
So the
stopped
boat-
rowing.
The boat begins to like
Still
just
rowing.
careen off to the side. Tawny, did you roll insight?
6.
6. Okay, you cannot tell what their intention is. You do see, however, as Kildak puts his hand over his other eye, you see the one on the bridge goes, puts the staff down and goes, and all the other ones like cover both eyes, and then the two that you blew kisses at, one like peeks at you, Tawny, because it doesn't want to like stop looking at the ship. But they all start making that as they're covering both eyes at this point.
Then I'm going to mimic it back and just go.
You do that back, and
keeping my fingers a little cracked because I don't want to lose sight.
Oh no, I'm totally blinded.
I am watching everything. I am not covering my eyes.
Cool. You see they are very excited to see the three of you, and the one on the bridge looks, I guess, to you, Wikipedia, because you're the only one looking, and pulls his hands off his eyes, and like gracefully motions to a lower part of the beach where you could bring the boat ashore.
I don't know if I want to, but I'll nudge Kildak and kind of point to where he pointed.
Okay,
because he needs to help row.
Yeah, I'll go back to Rowan. Oh man, do we do it? Do we not do it? Let's do it. Worst case scenario, we're at dinner.
Wikipedia, you can stand behind me when we get off.
Also, because I'm so small, I can completely hide behind someone who's taller than me, like in game. So yeah, I can take the hide action behind you if I need to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can take the hide action behind you too.
Is that a real halfling thing?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I didn't know that.
You get to the shore, and you see. Make a perception check, the three of you. Make a perception check first.
19.
18.
13.
Cool. Tawny and Wikipedia, you both notice all of these creatures. All the ones carrying like spears, they like put the spears on the ground. They start leaning on their spears. The ones with bows wrap the bows around them. They look very non-hostile. And the one wearing the bone and wood clothes begins to on the bridge, makes his way down to you. Kildag, you notice that this is not like an ambush point. This is their homes. You see the trees have been carved out as like their huts, and where they're living inside of palm trees. They have like campfires set up. They have within these like stony ruins, they have weapon racks. They have semblances of living that I can't seem to think of right now. But things that you'd expect to see around camp. You also notice, especially with that 19, there's a totem pole that rests in town. And you can see that on the totem pole, from top to bottom, from bottom to top, there is a bald human on the bottom. There is above him one of these like bird dinosaur people, like one of their faces carved into it. Above them is a crocodile. Above the crocodile is a fish. Above the fish is the carving of a pirate, has an eye patch on one eye and a green gem laid into the other eye. And then the top of the totem pole is this big sunbird, wings spread to their full extent. And you clock this totem pole. As you do... Go ahead.
Do I see any like smoke or fire around?
You see that their campfires are smoldering. It looks like they just put it out in case you were dangerous. They didn't want to get caught. but they had just put out some campfires. But look, you can see that some of them begin to come out of the trees, begin to like relight their campfires. You see a couple children, like very small, of these creatures also begin to come out of the huts, like peeking out from inside these trees. As you do, the yellow bird person comes up to you, sticks their staff in the ground, takes both hands, holds them wide, and slaps them on either side of your face, and then takes their head and, similar to a cat, just goes thunk, and like headbutts, like puts forehead to forehead, not in a way to like cause pain, but like hard enough where it's uncomfortable. And you hear a voice enter your mind as this thing communicates telepathically with you, and it goes, "Welcome, striders of the sea, landfish, brother to the one-eyed one. Welcome to the humble village of Gath. Praise be the sunbird." And then he lets go of your head and goes, "Brah, brah," and all the birds in this area all go, "Brah," and then immediately smacks you on both sides of the face, headbutts you again, and goes back to talking. Everyone else just sees this bird like slapping Kildak, like headbutting, and then doing this weird motion, slapping him again, and then going right back into the headbutt. He goes, this creature goes, "Are you hungry? You must eat. You must all eat. Come eat. Come to my cabin. Come to my hut." And then lets go of you and then motions for the three of you to come into one of these trees.
He's invited us to eat. Not for dinner. He didn't say come for dinner, which would be suspicious. He just said let's go eat. And he communicates telepathically. So that's cool. We also worship a sun god.
It is pretty cool.
Wikipedia, one of the very small birds, like almost all like blue and green feathers, comes up to you and offers you like a handful of pebbles.
Oh, thank you.
He just dumps like a handful of pebbles in your hand.
Oh, they're beautiful. And I'll shake them and then give them back.
He takes them back, gives you like a huge smile. He like strains his neck to try to like headbutt your head.
I'll reach down.
You headbutt him and he goes, "They're small rocks. There's so many of them."
So many rocks.
And then he like skitters back and just runs away. Tawny, you see one of these creatures comes up to you and also motions to like put both hands on the side of your face and headbutt. Puts both hands on your face, puts his head to yours. Do you, with your ring of mind shielding, they can only communicate with you if you choose. If you choose to let them. You allow it. You see, this is one of the ones that you blew a kiss at. Huge smile on his face, blushing a little bit as much as a dinosaur can blush. Puts his head to your head and doesn't say anything.
I'm just gonna like his cheek and then walk towards where the yellow bird motioned to eat.
All of his feathers like flutter up, and then he rushes back to one of the campfires and begins to like coo to all the other people that were there, and very excited. You make your way into this hut, and they begin to pass around different like soups. They have in one of these trees they've baked bread, and they have like fresh meats and vegetables from the area. Actually, it's more like meats and fruits. They have lots of citrus fruits, apples, oranges, lemons. Apple is not a citrus fruit. Don't come at me. Oranges, lemons, limes, citrus fruits.
Good job.
Thank you. And kind of passes these around, goes back to Kildak, slaps his hand on your face, headbutts you, and goes, Today is the 123rd anniversary of our people meeting with the Emerald Traveler. Ooh, a 1, 2, 3. It must be a sign. Praise the Sunbird. Brah! You do it back, and he gets like very excited and headbutts you. Go, do you know the ways of our people?
Not yet.
Well, you are well versed in our praising of the Sunbird. You must be you must have spoken with the Emerald Traveler, the one who has met with the Sana people.
I've met him. Yeah.
Oh, and it like looks around and starts like chirp at the other ones. That very excited that you have met the Emerald Traveler.
Have you met him?
Headbutts you again and goes, I have not met him. Our people are, again, 123rd anniversary of meeting him. My grandfather's grandfather had met the Emerald Traveler, and his legacy has been passed on from generation to generation as the one who travels the sea, landfish, we call them. But you must not be here for simply us lowly Sana people. You must be here for the temple.
That was our initial goal. Didn't know there would
But
be
this is pretty fun too.
Sana people here. Yeah, this is awesome.
He said, well, as brothers to the One-Eyed One, you are always welcome in our village. You're welcome to anything you see, anything you want. It is yours. We humbly bow in your presence. And like he takes a bow, and all the other like the ones that are like helping out around this hut kind of like bow to the three of you.
As this bird is having the conversation with Kildak, because he's like communicating just with Kildak, I am just like picking up food and like filling up like a plate and just like starting to chow down.
It is like the freshest food you'd have in a long time. Like between like Wallywig and granted, like there was good food at Hangman's Cove, but all the food that you bought is food that's meant to go on long journeys. So like dried jerkies, like dried fruits, dried vegetables, things that are not necessarily dried, but things that are meant to span long periods of time. Lots of salt. These are like fresh, juicy fruits, things that are going to expire by the end of the day, but they plan on eating it, and so they harvest in the forest from the jungle. Yeah, really like vibrant, fresh food.
Just like
they offer
some of it.
I was
Like I have like a
some
bag.
You see this creature goes, my name is Chara, and I am the chieftain of the Sarna people. We, again, have met the Emerald Traveler many, many years ago. But we, if you are here for the temple, it is simply further down the river. The temple was built long before the Sarna people, but we are its humble custodians. Is there anything that we can do to help our such honored visitors?
Do you know what's in the temple?
He's not talking to you.
You can say this out loud, and he lets go of Kildak's face, whips around, headbutts you, Wikipede, and goes, what's in the temple? There is... no, I don't know what's in the temple. I know...
Is it trapped? Are there like booby traps? Do we have to be careful?
I don't know. When I say custodians, I mean we clean the outside. We don't clean the inside.
So you've never gone in? None of your people here have gone in?
The temple
Anyone?
is sacred. Well, I know of 2 people to have gone in. There was the great Emerald Traveler, praise be the Sunbird. He was one of the first to enter into the temple, and use it, which is why we have offered it to you as well. However, before him, it was built as a burial for Rakata, he who hears, an old chieftain who had lost his way and was buried beneath the ziggurat.
Like the cheese?
What? What is cheese?
Ricotta?
Rakata. It's spelled not spelled the same. It sounds the same. Rakata, but spelled differently.
What do you say? What could be? Have they been in the temple? Can they help us?
I think there's cheese in there,
There's cheese
but they've never
in
been
it?
in there.
So it's
just
probably not
rumored.
good cheese anymore.
I mean, ricotta's pretty good cheese.
Fresh. Maybe not after 123 years.
Well, we'll just have to go find it.
Sounds good. I'm gonna like refill my plate and then walk back out, taking the food with me.
You take the food out. When you come out, there are a bunch of these like very young children saunas that are waiting outside, and they're all like there's 5 or 6 of them all hiding in the same like patch of ferns, and like as you walk by, they all pick their head up and they're all like their heads just follow you as you walk by.
And I'm gonna go get in the boat, but as I walk past the birds that I had winked at, that I blew a kiss at before, I'm just gonna like wink at as I get into the boat.
You see, they're all gonna like huddle together and start talking in like very hushed voices after that one. Yeah, they are enamored by you. Cool. The chief is gonna go back to you, Kildak. Chaka is gonna come back to you and say, put his hands on your face. He goes, "Oh, great, one-eyed one! Is there anything that our tribe can do for you?"
I was hoping for like a tour guide, but if y'all haven't been in the temple in a while, I don't think that's gonna happen.
He goes, "If you wish, I can send our shaman with you. But, again, he has not been in the temple before. But he will bring good luck. And he is also funny. Tells good jokes."
Awesome. Yeah, I could use a good joke.
"Excellent. I will have him brought to your boat immediately." And he goes, "Praise be the sun god." And then he gets his shaman
No, I
ready.
guess I don't even do that. I do. Just thought of that.
You see a shaman comes up. He has like both blue and red feathers going throughout his plumage. He's also holding one of those like staffs that have like maracas or like little trinkets on it. Comes up to you and swirls his staff around. He's going to cast Aid on all of you. At 3rd level, everybody's HP max and current HP go up by 10 for the next 8 hours as he casts that spell on you. And he like takes a deep bow, gets in the boat, and you begin to sail to just down the river to the temple. No more than 5 minutes after leaving the tribe, the thick jungle begins to clear up, and you see in this large clearing there is a towering ziggurat that rises above the tree line. It is made from like well kept like orange and gold clay, and it's about 50 to 60 feet in height. The sides angularly sloping into a flat top with 2 sets of stairs that make their way up the sides before the top plateau. You can see there's like engravings and like hieroglyphs on the outside that depict like stories of the Sana people, stories of individual individual bird people that have done great deeds for their tribe, stories of all sorts of things throughout the generations. You also see that the river flows directly into the ziggurat, and it flows into a tunnel that goes deep into the center and then disappears into darkness. As you approach, you see the shaman points to the top of the temple and goes and signals that like towards the peak of it.
Can I signal to him like to telepath?
Yeah, sure. You can tap your head to it. Instead of like headbutting you, he just kind of like lays his head like on your shoulder to like rest it, so it's still touching your head. And he goes, "What do you want, Mister?"
What's up there?
That is the entrance to the ziggurat.
Is the river not an entrance?
The river goes down to the tomb.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
What he said?
actually-
We're gonna. Oh, well.
I think the river goes down to the tomb. I can't guarantee that.
That's fair.
It's usually where we just throw all the dead stuff. So I think it goes down to the tomb.
We don't need to go down there. We should pull over because the entrance is not the river.
I do not suggest it. It's where we put the bodies. And I don't want to be a body yet. I like to be a sauna. Let's pull over. And then like
pull over.
sticks his head back.
As we get out of the boat and like get to the side there, I'm just gonna get out and like kind of stretch and be like, I don't know, guys, this is not looking like Mou Kore.
How do you know what Mou Kore's supposed to look like? This could be it.
I kind of figured we'd be attacked like immediately.
Maybe inside we'll get attacked.
That's fair.
But
That's
who's gonna attack us at Mou Kore? No one knows where it is.
exactly. And then just walks to the entrance.
You see the shaman lays his head on your shoulder, looks up at you and goes, I could attack you if you want.
I think we're good.
Okay. And
Thanks,
he
so.
slides back off of you. Perfect. You make your way up the stairs of the ziggurat. The sun is high in the sky, just around noon as you get to the top. From here, from the top of the temple, you can see far out across the jungle. You can see miles and miles of lush tropical trees. You can also see the ocean from here, and you see the depressed guppy and the anxious carp lying in wait of its captains to return. You can't make out people on it, but you can see your sails furled, your flags flying, these two majestic ships in the harbor. You look to the north and you see a small black tower that just rises to the trees. You don't quite recognize it, but you do recognize the stone to be similar to that of what you saw in Vorpalgrad. Similar make and architecture. It is miles to the north. It would be days of travel, especially through the jungle. But you're able to pick out just the top of that. And with that, the shaman motions, like welcoming down into the first level, the highest level of the ziggurat. As everybody makes their way down into the ziggurat of Immorti. That is where we'll end tonight's session. And we'll see everybody next time for our exploration of the Temple of the Sauna. Brah, brah.
And here the gilded voyage of our daring swashbucklers will have to lie. I hope you enjoyed me tale, and if you did, give a big old like and subscribe for more. For now, let us ponder the plunder our pirates may find, the grog they may gulp, and the scurvy scoundrels they may see in the comment section below. Avast ye until we meet again over another round at the Four Rings Inn.